Civil rights to me are rights for everybody. It's not just rights for black people, although we tend to think when we hear the term civil rights, oh, that's for black people. The state shall not discriminate against or grant preferential treatment to any individual or group on the basis of race, sex, color, ethnicity, or national origin in public employment, public contracting, and public education.
Well, there's behavior, see, connected to all of these things.
You got black children who are failing in education, not because they can't learn, but because they're afraid of being accused of being white if they try to get straight A's.
The black community is losing countless children.
You trying to learn how to read? You trying to be white, boy?
In the area I grew up in, we talk slang. We don't talk proper English at all.
The language isn't looked upon as being deviant or incorrect. So why should I correct a child that says ambulance or salmon?
You can't do that. That's for white folks. You trying to be white.
When I was growing up and like at school and that, there were always children who, you know, they were teased basically because they wanted to study hard and get good grades and stuff. Also known as acting white.
Kid is studying, and so they say to the kid, you're acting white, which is a put down to make this kid stop studying. Well, let's examine this. If you're black and you say to me, because you see me studying, you're acting white, what is it you're saying about black people?
So what we're saying is that if you're black, you mustn't achieve anything. And that is the only way that you can remain a black person. And you're basically making it out that, you know, black people aren't supposed to achieve anything. And it's okay for us to not do that. But at the same time, we want to play the victim and start moaning.
Many blacks consider it the easy way out to just blame all their problems on racism.
People swear that racism is so prevalent in our society today. Yet despite that prevalent racism, here comes Barack Obama, who is about to step into the seat of power in the United States of America. If racism is bad as you swear it is, then you gotta understand that Barack Obama ain't doing this on his own.
Teaching your kids that school and not the streets is the path to success isn't selling out. Selling out is taking a dump on the very opportunities this country has to offer and making something out of your dream. Sitting on your butt and blaming whites for your failings is a waste of time. There are too many successful blacks in this nation to disprove the wildly held notion that racism is keeping us all down.
Unfortunately, there is no ethnicity in the United States that exacts more crime against each other than we do.
Homicide is the #1 cause of death for black men between 15 and 29 years of age, and has been for decades. Of the roughly 16,000 homicides in this country each year, more than half are committed by black men. A black man is 7 times more likely to commit a murder than a white man, and 6 times more likely to be murdered. 94% of all black people are murdered by other black people. Although black people make up 12% of the general population, make up nearly 44% of the prison population. At any given time, as many as 1 in 4 of all black men, young black men, are in the criminal justice system, in prison or jail, on probation or on parole.
There are some who enjoy their victim status and use it as a way of blaming others for their own laziness. There are many black folk out there who have used the education system to their benefit and are now self-reliant. They don't depend on a check from the government every month, and they are the true leaders in their community.
I want the American people to confront the issue of race. I want them to understand that race is a 19th century social construct that we're using in the 21st century for purposes of public policy, and we need to get out of that mode. Second thing is I want black people to start being more self-reliant, to realize that we can't keep looking in the past. We had a black middle class long before affirmative action. We will have one long after affirmative action. And that is my major concern, to make sure that black people break this cycle of emotional dependency on somebody else.
People always have choices to make. If they're poor, if they're not poor. Things that you can do or not do. Are you going to take drugs or you're not going to take drugs? Are you going to go to school or are you going to try to learn or you're not going to try to learn? A lot of these are choices that people make, that children make, young people make, but also that families make. Do you want to support education in your home or you want to ignore it, in fact, do the opposite?
Those who wish to elevate themselves must make a choice. Personal responsibility is not a catchphrase. It's a way of life that gives someone real control over their lives.
Well, I think there's always personal responsibility no matter what's going on in society.
Going to work isn't selling out.
A black man that sells death in the form of drugs to another black man, that's a sellout. A black man that sells another black woman on the street, that's a sellout. Black men who claim to love God, yet the only time they lift their eyes is when they're looking up at the stripper up on the stage or when they tilt their head back to finish off their 40. That's a sellout. A black man that says that he loves his black sister so much but gets her knocked up and leaves her to raise that child on her own, that's a sellout.
All the black women, hold on, take a breath. 70% of African American women are single.
She will most likely end up raising that child on her own, and that child will be raised to believe either one, it's not important to have a dad, and you know what? It's not important to be one. Thus the cycle will continue.
There are those who live by blaming whites for their every misfortune, while they now have to live with the ramifications of their blowing off school earlier in life. They claim affirmative action will cure those ramifications. All affirmative action does is make every black person's qualifications suspect upon their first day at a new job and discriminate against persons who may be more qualified purely because of the color of their skin.
Affirmative action, as we were practicing it, was marginalizing high-achieving black kids who are on campus, who every day wear that stigma that they're there because somebody gave it to them, rather than they're earning it like everybody else.
Because I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Invest in early childhood education, improved K through 12, ensure that kids who are qualified to go to college can afford it. As we consider admissions policies at universities, I think that we should take into account white kids who have been disadvantaged and have grown up in poverty and shown themselves to have what it takes to succeed.